Are you looking for a template for a seller report that you're going to send out to your listing, the owner of the listing, once a week to keep them updated on the progress of the sale of their home? If that's something you're interested in, you're in the right place. Let's talk. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with 2 listings per month. And as you start to take on listings, you're going to need to service those listings. And one of the things that you're going to definitely want to do is make sure that you stay in contact with the seller. I recommend that you contact them at a minimum once a week. And you should do that 2 ways. You should send out an email with information that they are looking for, that they need to keep them updated on what's happening with the progress with the sale of their home. And then the second thing that you should be sending out to them, second thing you should be doing is you should be following up with a phone call to talk about that report. So you're getting 2 touches with them for the same purpose. And I do that on the same day. I pick a day to do it. So it's consistent every week. For me, that's Tuesday. You could pick a different day, but I like to do that Tuesday morning, get the reports knocked out. I see what has come in over the weekend, if there's anything exciting or any action that's happened or any feedback, say on showings, and then I bring that together and I get that out. And by the way, you're going to let the seller know that you're going to do that at the listing appointment, because that's something that they really want to know, is that you have a communication system and hopefully a communication guarantee. That's a different topic. But here's how we're going to do the actual follow-up with them to let them know what's going on. So what I did is I have a template that I put together, and this is all early stages. Did this a lot in the past, but I'm trying to update things and kind of start fresh. Again, my concept is to start as a new agent and kind of build these things out. So what we've got here is, I'm going to show in just a second. I'm going to show you my screen, and I'm going to show you the template that I use for the email, just to give you an idea. And you may want to add things or subtract things, just to give you an idea how to kind of put this together. All right, so here we go. All right, so I'm using Gmail because it's free, and who doesn't like free? So this is a Gmail template that I put together. You can create a template inside of Gmail to make it nice and easy for you. Then each week, you just pop open your template, you fill it out. You can even set up templates for each individual seller as you're moving along. This is just the raw template to get started, to kind of give you the idea of what to do here. So let's just walk through it real quick right here. We're going to obviously put in the email address of the person we're sending to. Right here, we're going to have the title, the subject line. And so it's going to be seller report. And then I put the date with a dash and then the address. That's just the way I like to do it. As soon as a seller sees that, of course, they're going to be curious, especially after they've received the first one. They're also then going to be able to order them, and I'm going to be able to order them by date. It's the other reason to have the date up there in the subject line. You can see that real quick, as well as the address. All right, so it's for them and for myself for quick reference. Excuse me. So right here at the top, I'm going to put their name. You can be as formal or informal as you like to be. I prefer to be informal unless I have someone who their desire is to be spoken to formally, and I'll do that if they choose. But typically it's informal. And then I'm going to have a little line say, hey, here is the weekly report on the sale of your property. And now remember, I've already said the address, so I don't have to type that in again. I'm going to say the price, though, because the price could be fluctuating, right? We've been in such a fast market. Many of the younger people may not recognize that if you're trying to help a seller for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, these reports can go on, and you want to keep kind of a track of where that price is. Anyway, so I'm going to give them the current price, and then I'm going to mention the days on the market. How long have we been in the market? You can pop that up in the MLS if you're not tracking, if it's too hard, but the MLS will track that for you. And just take a quick look. And then showings this week. How many showings have we had since the last report? And that'll be a number. Both of those will be numbers, by the way, days in the market and number of showings. And then feedback, that little dash is a number as well. How many agents actually responded for feedback? Like I just did one of these reports, I had 6 showings, but only 1 agent gave feedback. So please give feedback if you're an agent that's showing property. It really helps the seller out. And when it's reversed, I'm sure you're going to appreciate it as well. So here are the questions that we have kind of formatted. It's kind of it's in the template that the showing service has, and I just kind of repeat them here. So is your client interested? Yes or no? How do they feel about the price? Let's say low, high, just right, etc. And then so it's just these are just little one-word answers. Are you bringing an offer? Yes, no, maybe. And then any additional comments. And the feedback I had, they actually gave a nice little comment, some feedback to the seller about their property. And so that was very helpful. Boom. And then competition in the neighborhood. Going to write in the actives. I'm going to put the address at the price. And so I guess I should have been showing this all along, but we're down here at the price, at the active. And so we've got the address at the price. Maybe some of these changed in the last week. I also put in our property, by the way. And the way I did that was I said us to kind of show where we are in relation to everybody else in the area. Okay, especially if you got very similar properties. That's helpful. It was when I sent out this report. And then we got the pendings properties, some closed properties. I just want to give them kind of a flavor if there's anything new in particular, if they're new actives, new pendings, or new closings. And if not, then I may give a couple of extras just to give an idea, maybe mention the date on the closing if necessary. And then buyer calls. I actually had received a buyer call. And so I gave that information of what had happened and transpired in that call. That's down here. If you don't have any buyer calls, just say none for the week. And then agent calls, had an agent reach out, had agents reach out through multiple ways, actually, through email as well as through text. Actually, one called, but also texted. And we got the information back to that person. So I gave the information to the seller here of what they had mentioned, what was on their mind. And then the action plan is what we're going to do next. So in my case, I said, hey, this was what we did in the first week, and here's what we plan on doing in the next week. And then that's it. It's pretty simple. It's pretty quick to fill out. It's very informative. And boom, you zap that off to your seller. So again, here's the whole thing, just top to bottom. And there it is again. If you're trying to write it down, a screenshot, I guess it doesn't fit in one screenshot. I might have to do two, but hopefully that'll help you out a little bit. I gave this to my seller for this new listing we took on. And I also called him and I got a hold of him immediately. And I read this information to him, and he said, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I said, great, I'm going to be emailing you out this report. So if you have any questions on it, go ahead and read it and send it back, because he was at work, but he had picked up the phone. You could tell he was kind of rushed. And said, great. And by the way, if I would have got voicemail, I would have just put the information in voicemail. Right? I'm going to give it to them as many ways as they want, the information. And then later that day in the evening, he emailed back and said, wow, this is a fantastic email. Thank you so much for giving me all this information. I know exactly what I need to do next. So that's why you want to kind of put this together, is you're keeping them updated, you're keeping them in line. By the way, in my phone conversation with him, I'll just throw this out. I said, okay, this was what happened in week one. This is what's going to happen in week two. I'm going to forecast out if things aren't working the way we want. This is or the next steps we're going to do in week 3, 4, and 5. And I try to give an example of what's a foreshadowing of what's going to happen down the road, so that they're thinking about it. So I don't just get there and then I just drop a bomb on them that we're going to try to make a change of some type. Those changes could be in price or terms or whatever. You could do condition changes. There's all kinds of changes you could do to try to make the property more appealing. Marketing, of course, is what they want to hear. If you have something different that you're going to do, great. But that'll you could do that foreshadowing of what will be happening in the future. And that's something that he really appreciated as well. So hopefully that's helpful for you, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you like this kind of material and you want to see more of it, give us a big old like. And if you have any questions about this, go ahead and drop them in the comment section down below. Also, if you If you have thought about, if you've read through this and you're like, Mike, you missed something, yeah, go ahead and put that in the comments down below. That'd be awesome. Or, Mike, I like that you did this and I'm going to add that. These feedbacks really help me out to make sure we're on the same track. So appreciate that. Hope this has been helpful and take care. Bye now.